Hi, I'm Diali Cole Mercado. I am doing a presentation today on followership biases and career progression for women. Again, the name is Diali Cole Mercado. I am in the Organizational Leadership PhD program at Southeastern University. And this presentation is for our followership class, and it is Leaders 7523 with Dr. Dean. The agenda I have for my presentation starts off with the history and current view of followership, then followership as an equal to leadership. Then we also talk about how followership can be different for women in comparison to men, and changed views and opportunities, how women are perceived by their own followers, and then also how women see their own identity in whatever position they are in. Then we're going to talk about the research that I'd like to complete and the goals, and of course, the outcome after the study is completed. So starting off, followership has been seen as negative in some cases, not always having the same influence as leadership, right? Leaders and followers matter to each other, as stated by Bass 2008. We have to think about sometimes, like in the Bible, it says, follow me and let the dead bury their own. Or there's also the impression that a follower will not share a common purpose, but as said is by Shalef in 2009, the follower can share a common purpose with the leader and believes in what is being accomplished. That's really critical. It's important to know that. In society, just people want to prove themselves, so they think that they have to be in a leadership role to be able to make a difference, when in a lot of cases, a lot of times the followers can make a huge difference, because without the followers, the leader can't accomplish the goals for themselves or the organization. So according to Hollander in 1992, leaders command more attention, but the followers affect and constrain what the leaders can do. Make sure you keep that in mind. Followership is equal to leadership. Individuals take the risk of empowering the leader, right? They hope to win the confidence of the peers, of their peers, and also of their superiors, and they can affect and restrict what the leader has the ability to do. Followers have to prove themselves, right? They prove themselves in the follower role by hoping to win the confidence of their peers and their superiors. They accept the value of doing a good job in their role, and they study from leadership, and they polish their skills, and then they work as a team, and then they also self-manage. They always stand in good stead, according to Kelly, 1992. Now, followership for women may be different. It doesn't always progress the same way for women as it may for men. Okay, so career progression is what I want to focus the research on. Explicitly, right? You think about women encountering biases because they always say they have to break the glass ceiling. Have you ever heard a man breaking the glass ceiling? I haven't. So if you have, let me know. I haven't heard it. Why do they just get there? And why do we have to break through something to get to the top? So they have the idea that women should stay home and have babies, cook dinner. In Proverbs 14:1, in the New International Version, 2019, it advises that the woman is wise and build her house. And Proverbs 31:27 says that she watches over the affairs of the house, right? Beliefs that a woman belongs in the home has changed in, I would say, in the last 50 years, maybe even a little bit longer, but I think it's definitely in the last 50 years has changed a lot more. Right? Women have the opportunity now to work in and lead in many different fields and industries. They can be engineers, they can be doctors, they can be fire chiefs. As well, working in law enforcement, there's been many police chiefs that have been women, and researchers. researchers are also women, and they do provide a lot of significant information and changes within the field that they're in. So how are women perceived by their followers? Just like any other person can be perceived, there's different ones. You could be an alienated follower, which is a critical thinker who may disengage due to the dissatisfaction, right? You can also have a passive follower, which relies on the direction of the leader. They have little initiative. You have a conformist follower, which that's getting a little bit better. They conform, right? They are loyal and dependent, but they are also dependent on the authority. Then you also have the pragmatic follower, which is a person who will adapt to different situations while balancing their support and skepticism. So maybe they're not always in tune with the leader, but they're going to be watching, they're going to be doing what needs to be done and ready to make changes with their leader when needed. So you really kind of want to have the pragmatic person. And then you have the effective follower, who are proactive, independent thinkers who also contribute. Those are the type of followers we really want to reach out for. So you can start off as an alienated follower and work your way to maybe a conformist follower. Or you may start off as an effective follower and then you're not happy with your leader and you move into the passive or alienated follower stage. But either way, those are the different stages, and that's according to Kelly. How does a woman see their own identity? So let's talk about maybe me. How do I see my identity? Is the behavior relating to power dynamics or relating to contextual elements, right? And then they also might have intersections with their identity that relates to their race, their sexual orientation, and also socioeconomic status. And those are all really important, especially nowadays when being a woman in a leadership position or being a woman who's following and trying to progress in a career that has a lot of the effect of what's going to happen. Cesar and Lester, 2010, opined that women perceive their identity as a leader and a follower while in any position that will impact their behavior relating to the power dynamics that I was discussing earlier, right? So the aspects of race, sexual orientation, their socioeconomic status, those all make a difference. But women will sometimes need to navigate the workforce differently. Why? Why is that? Especially when they are trying to reach the goal of getting to the top of the organization. Again, why do we want to get to the top? We want to be treated the same. But why do we have to break that glass ceiling? So my goal is to do some research. I would like to do a quantitative study on trying to figure out the followership and biases that hinder career progression for women. My main research question is, are follower biases hindering women from career progression? Then I have some sub-research questions, and they are followers more trusting of a woman leader? Or do followers believe that a woman leader can make a business as successful as their male counterpart? Let's think. And I'd like to look at this because I worked in the public safety field. I've worked in corrections as a manager over the records section. I've worked in law enforcement, working the road with men and other women. I've also trained with the fire department. However, I never went and got my certification. Couldn't do the medical part. I just couldn't do it. Everything else was pretty awesome. And I love firefighters to death. And I've also been for the last, 15 years now, I've been in the security management field for a Fortune 500 company, as well as the second largest convention center in the nation. So I have a lot of experience being in male dominated fields, right? So did people look at me and say, I don't know if she can be just as successful as a man? I don't know. I think I can. I think I have been. But do people see that? Do they see that when they see a woman in that male-dominated field? The goal for my research is to make a survey link with all the questions, and then I want to send it out via social media because I think I can get a lot of traction with social media. I would send the link on LinkedIn. Of course, that's going to get a lot of career people, but I'm also going to send it on Facebook and Instagram because I have a lot of friends that have been throughout my career that are also on Facebook and Instagram who may not be on LinkedIn. There might be someone on Facebook who's not on Instagram, and there might be someone on Instagram who's on neither LinkedIn or Facebook. So I think sharing the link throughout and giving other people who answer the survey the opportunity to share the survey link with other people that are also out there working. And I want to make sure that people that answer the survey are employed full-time for an organization, not a self-employed person. They need to be working full-time for an organization, whether it's a small or large, but they need to be able to answer these questions as someone that is employed for an organization. I think the perspective is a little different, especially let's say I've been working in construction for myself for all of my life. Well, I might have a different perspective on these roles. So I really want it to be someone who is employed full time for an organization. And then where would I go from there? Where would I go with that information, right? I don't know. I'm hoping to get this information and it's either going to enlighten me, right? Or make me see things that I already believe. But it's also hopefully going to enlighten a lot of people with the information on what they think it's about, what's going on out there right now, what's the status. So thank you very much. I hope that you enjoyed my presentation. I really hope to get a lot out of this from the research when it's finally completed. And of course, if you want to reach out to me and ask me any questions or have me join some of your research, of course you can. Again, the name is Diale Mercado and my email is listed at the bottom of this screen. So thank you so much. Have a great day.